The room buzzed with laughter and the clink of glasses, yet my heartbeat thundered louder, a frantic drum inside my chest. My wife, Leah, had arranged a surprise party with flawless precision, gliding through the crowd with a radiant smile, her auburn hair shimmering beneath the strands of fairy lights draped across our living room. Friends, neighbors, even Tom, my old college buddy who'd flown in from Chicago, were all there. But then I saw him, Richard, her boss, leaning casually against the kitchen counter. His tailored blazer looked too polished for our suburban home. His gaze lingered on Leah just a moment too long. My stomach knotted, cold and sour. What was he doing here? I forced a smile and accepted a beer from Tom, the glass slick in my palm. The scent of Leah's lavender candles mixed with catered hors d'oeuvres, but the air felt dense, suffocating, as if I were breathing through damp cloth. When Leah caught my eyes, her smile wavered for just a second before she raised her glass. To Ethan, the best husband any woman could ask for. Cheers erupted, but her words struck like stones. My throat tightened as I nodded, scanning the room again. Richard was still there, sipping whiskey, his eyes flicking toward Leah as she chatted with neighbor. A sharp unease crawled up my spine, small and relentless, like a splinter I couldn't dig out. The night blurred with chatter and candles. 35 today, yet the milestone fell hollow, overshadowed by a question I couldn't silence. Leah had never said she invited Richard. She'd worked under him at the law firm for 3 years, always praising his guidance, those late-night sessions that kept her at the office long after dinner. I never doubted her. She was ambitious, driven, the kind of woman whose conviction could fill a room. But now, seeing that quick, guarded glance she cast his way, I wondered what else I had overlooked. I pushed through the guests, the hardwood creaking under my sneakers, and reached her. She was arranging appetizers, her hands steady though her lips were pressed in. "Great party," I said lightly, though my heart pounded like a fist against a locked door. Didn't know Richard was on the guest list. Her fingers froze over a cube of cheese for a split second before she resumed. "Oh, yeah," she replied, her voice bright but brittle, like ice about to crack. "He's been so supportive at work. I thought it would be nice to include him." Her green eyes met mine, steady, but shadowed with something unsaid. I wanted her smile to wash away the doubts chewing at me, but the air between us felt electric, like the silence before a storm breaks. The evening wore on. I played my part as a grateful husband, laughing at Tom's terrible jokes, slicing into the chocolate raspberry cake Leah had baked, my favorite. But my eyes kept drifting to Richard. He hovered at the edges, never fully part of group, a smudge on otherwise clean glass. Once, I caught him staring at his phone, thumb hesitating over a message before tucking it away. His expression gave nothing. I told myself I was imagining things. Leah loved me. She'd planned all this, hadn't she? That very morning, she kissed me softly and whispered, "I love you, Ethan." But doubt is a quiet poison, slipping into unseen cracks. By 10, most guests had gone, leaving behind scattered cups and crumpled napkins. Leah was stacking dishes in the kitchen when Richard approached her. I was across the room helping Tom with his coat, but I saw it. The way Richard leaned in, his voice low, her head tilting toward him like a flower toward the sun. My chest constricted, iron tight. I excused myself and moved closer. The hum of the dishwasher muffled their voices, but I caught fragments, his need to talk, and her sharp whisper, "Not now." Ice surged through me. The room tilted like a ship in rough seas. "Leah." My voice came out sharper than intended. She turned, face composed, though her hands clutched the counter so tightly her knuckles blanched. Richard stepped back with a polite nod, his smile smooth as glass. "Great party, Ethan," he said warmly. "You're a lucky man." The words felt like a taunt, though his face betrayed nothing. He left soon after, quiet and unremarkable, yet his absence left a void that hummed with unasked questions. When the last guest was gone, the house settled into silence, broken only by the faint drip of the kitchen faucet. I stood beneath the fairy lights, their glow now harsh, revealing every flaw, the scuffed wall, the frayed rug. Leah slipped behind me, her arms wrapping around my waist. "Did you have fun?" she asked softly, coaxing. I turned, searching her face for the woman I'd married, the one who cried during our vows, who laughed at my ruined dinners. She was there, but so was someone else, guarded, distant. Why was Richard here, Leah? My voice was low, steady, though my heart thrashed like a trapped animal. Her eyes flicked wide before her smile returned, too quick, too bright. I told you I thought it would be nice. He's my boss, Ethan. He's part of my life. Her words sounded reasonable, but rehearsed, like lines practiced in the mirror. I wanted to let it go, to melt into her arms and shake off the unease clinging to me like damp clothes. But I couldn't. I saw you with him, I said, my voice tight. In the kitchen. What was that? Her smile faltered. For a second, she looked cornered, her eyes darting before settling back on mine. It was work, she said curtly. A case. Nothing you care about. The lie was small, but I felt it, hairline thin in her tone. Don't lie to me, Leah. The words ripped out raw, jagged. Her face crumpled briefly before she straightened, jaw set. I'm not lying, she said, though her voice shook, her eyes shimmering with guilt, fear, or both. The next hour blurred with accusations and denials. Our voices rose and crashed like waves against a collapsing shore. She swore there was nothing between her and Richard, that I was paranoid. That work stress was twisting my thoughts. Then her phone, abandoned on the counter, buzzed once, twice. Richard. A message lit the screen. We need to figure this out. The ground slid beneath me. Leah, I said, holding the phone aloft, hand trembling. What the hell is this? Her face drained, mouth opening and closing soundlessly. It's not what you think, she whispered, hollow, pleading more than defending. I scrolled, vision blurring, late-night texts, cryptic mentions of meetings, a photo of her in a dress I didn't recognize, sent to him with a smiley face. Every word carved away the trust one thought unshakable. The truth spilled out in fragments. Not an affair, she insisted, not physical, but emotional, a bond born from long nights at the office, from the high-stakes pressure they shared. She turned to him. She said, because I'd been distant, buried in my own work, my doubts. I didn't mean for it to happen, she sobbed, hands over her face. I love you, Ethan. I do. I wanted to believe her, to cling to the life we'd built. But betrayal had taken root, coiling tight around my heart. Every memory, our first date, our wedding, quiet nights on the couch, was fractured now, tainted by her secrets. I sank onto the couch, crushed beneath the weight. Why didn't you tell me? My voice was barely a whisper. Why him? She had no answer, only tears. And in that silence, I felt it, the final crack in us, a fracture too deep to mend. The fairy lights flickered. One bulb popped, fizzling into darkness. And I realized the party wasn't the real surprise. The real shock was this. The woman I loved had become a stranger, and I'd been blind to it until tonight.